So you're in prep and you gotta travel. Or maybe you're on a weight loss journey, you have to travel and you're nervous about staying on track. Don't worry, sis. I got you. Here are my top 5 tips for traveling and staying on track.
I like my coffee black, wife too. Don't turn this into no controversy. It's my boo. I could make $250,000 off a haiku.
AmFam, what is up? If you're new here, I'm Amberp, makeup artist, IFBB Bikini Pro, and beauty educator. Today, I decided, you know what? I have to pack and prep my food because I'm traveling. I'm working this weekend in Pittsburgh for nationals, for Masters Nationals. So I figured, let me show y'all how I stay on track and how I like to do things. So first things first, this is the #1 rule that is just so important. Come in a little bit closer, okay? Because this one here is going to be for my prep girlies, my girls that are in prep and you got a competition coming. You chose this, okay? Life does not stop because you're in contest prep. I know. That's probably a hard one for a lot of people to wrap their heads around. Now, trust me, I do understand and I believe once you get close, like once you're 5 weeks out, you're not even gonna have the energy to want to travel anyway, but anything prior to that, if you're 16, 12, 10, maybe even 8 weeks out, you can still travel. It ain't that serious, it ain't that deep. For my lifestyle girlies, for the ones that are on a weight loss journey, same thing for you too. When you go out and you travel, I don't want you to be afraid to eat. You can still eat and you can still hit your goals. Editing Amberp here, I forgot to mention a very important key component here. Contest prep, dieting for a competition versus lifestyle weight loss journey, they are not the same. And here's why they are not the same. If you are someone who is on a weight loss journey, you automatically have way more flexibility. Now, within that flexibility, it doesn't mean blow it out the water, right? Because you don't want to spend your week hitting your macros or your calories, whatever you're doing, and then the weekend comes, you blow it out the water. If you keep that vicious cycle every single week, you're going to plateau. You're not going to get anywhere. But I do believe that you can stay on track. You can have flexibility and you can still hit your goals. Now, the difference between a contest prep and athlete getting ready for a competition is you have to stay on track. You got to hit your macros. You got to stick to your meal plan. You have to do X, Y, and Z. Contest prep is extreme. Weight loss journey is not, and it never should be. If you are someone right now who is on a weight loss journey, and if you're getting guidance from someone or you're doing it yourself and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is too restrictive or I'm having a hard time sticking to it, it's probably too restrictive and you need to go back to the drawing board. So gotta make sure you guys understand the difference between those two. Tip number 2, if you are a part of the AmFam, you already know how we get down. Keep it simple. That started probably, 6 years ago now on my YouTube channel, just in regards to makeup, because I felt like, why are we making this so difficult? You don't have to put on the contour, the highlight, the bright. You don't got to do all that if you don't want to. Keep it simple. Well, guess what? Keep it simple started with makeup, and it has basically been the foundation of my life. Same thing when it comes to your food. Keep it simple. I think a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel. They're making these Franken foods to try to fit into your macros. Nah, sis, do yourself a favor. You are making your life so much more difficult when you are doing that. Keep it simple. Stick with the basics. Get your proteins, your carbs, and your fat. Basic whole foods for the win. And it's gonna make your stomach feel better, because I think what a lot of women fail to realize is your gut is your second brain, all right? So when the gut's not right, it can make you cranky, it can make you irritable. I know when my gut is off, it feels like the world is ending. Caesar says hello. Be mindful of how your gut feels when you eat specific foods. Now, if you've been on the interwebs for quite some time, you already know that people like to demonize specific food groups carbs, but we'll save that for a whole nother video. But I'll say this, carbs ain't bad for you, okay? Don't demonize foods because of what some jackass said on the internet, all right? Be mindful of how you feel when you eat. A lot of women are walking around in this state of bloat and constipation. That ain't normal, sis. I don't want that for you. So be mindful of how you feel when you eat particular foods. It can be a whole food. For instance, I cannot digest eggs to save my life. A lot of people love eggs. They thrive with them. Eggs are not bad. They're a great protein source, lots of nutrition. However, for me in my house, in this body, baby, last time I had eggs, I was on the floor in my salon. Not a good look. So keep it simple, go with the basics, and understand what works best for you, because can't nobody tell you what works best for you but you. Also with that, when traveling, especially if you are in prep for a contest, this is not the time to be incorporating new foods. You don't know how that's going to react to your body. You don't know if it's going to make your stomach blown out, if it's going to make your gut distended, if it's going to give you gas, if it's going to give you constipation, because when we're in contest prep, we're used to eating very specific things. So if you try to go off or outside of what you're eating, it might not end up so well for you. Number 3. The most important thing to bring with you when you're traveling is going to be your protein sources. Make those ahead of time. Prep them up, put them in the freezer, depending on, if you're flying, driving, whatever the case may be, your protein sources are always going to be the number one important thing, just simply because, let's say if you go to a restaurant, you can't always guarantee that they aren't putting oil, butter, whatever the case may be. All of those things add up when you're in prep because it's additional fats and it's going to throw off your calorie intake, and you don't want that. So pick your protein sources. Again, whatever works best for you. Let me show you what mine are. So I'm a Costco girly, okay? And also, let me say this. I am not a chef, nor do I enjoy cooking whatsoever. I only make my food when I have to, and that's when my husband's not available to do so. He's not available to do so right now. He's busy doing God only knows what. However, keep in mind that if I can do this, you can do it, especially if you're someone that's like me who doesn't like cooking, could care less for it. However, we gotta cook because we gotta eat and we need to live. So here are my protein sources. Okay, I'm a Costco girly. This is what is easiest for me. You do you. My 3 protein sources are salmon, shrimp, and chicken tenders. So this is easy for me. I buy it frozen in bulk when I'm ready to make it. Take it out the freezer, defrost it, and then we can make it. Let's get into it. So the air fryer and the Instant Pot are my best friends. So what I love about the Instant Pot is you just put whatever it is that you want in there and you press start. You don't have to do nothing else to it. And you can put frozen items in there. So the chicken, I don't unthaw it. I just take it out the bag, give it a nice little rinse, clean, and then I will drop it in the Instant Pot like so. All right, so chicken's in the Instant Pot now. Season this however you like. I'm going to put garlic salt on, and I'm a firm believer that in my past life, I was Latina because I love all Latin food. Mexican, Colombian, El Salvadorian, Peruvian, all of it. So I could literally eat Latin food every single day. So since I'm not going to my favorite taco places, I'm just going to use this taco seasoning, and this one is the Southwest Ranch Chicken Taco Seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there alongside with my garlic salt. The other thing too, season your food the way that you like, whatever tastes good to you. And then I like adding in chicken broth. I would prefer the reduced sodium chicken broth, and I'm just gonna dump that in there like so. All right, lid is on. Now all we gotta do is press poultry and boom. Do you see how simple that is? Easy, easy, easy. Let's move on to our next protein source. Got to. All right, then we're just gonna season up the salmon using some garlic salt. And then a little bit of, this right here is my jam. Just a little bit though. The buttery steakhouse seasoning. Since I can't put butter on my salmon how I would typically do it. They ain't phasing. Oh, and look what we have here. Mr. P is in the kitchen. He's making something. What you making, honey?
Okay.
He's making some picanha. So basically it's just some steak and it smells so, so good. He's prepping this food for somebody. Be on the lookout. You guys might be able to get some
That's all you get. I'm gonna see the recipe
soon. You guys might be able to get some soon. Be on the lookout. Right, then this is just going in the air fryer. And I like to do my salmon at 350 for 10 minutes. Boom. Easy. I've also got my rice going here in the rice cooker. Alright, and then last but not least here, we've got our shrimp. I'm going to do this on the stove top. So I'm going to go ahead, season this. Again, very simple. I'm going to use garlic salt and then, like I said earlier, Latina in my past life, taco seasoning. That's it. Simple. Not y'all all up in my pan, so I don't use any sprays or anything because these are non-stick pans. So we're just gonna drop it in there. Shrimp does not take long, and I'm actually going to be making quite a bit of it just simply because I eat shrimp twice a day. Just simply because the protein, high protein, and it is low fat. My fats are low right now, so the majority of my fat sources come from my protein sources, so eating a fattier protein source like salmon will definitely take up a good bit of your fat protein, especially when your fat protein, your fat macros, especially when your fats are low. You just, every step I take, every move I make, you know your ass ain't supposed to be in here, but yet you are planted down. I was gonna say 10 toes down. 4 paws down like a freaking island. Does anyone else have a pity? And if you have a pity, then you just know how stubborn they are. Mine is 8, my other one is 6, but this one right here is Caesar, the OG Caesar. If you follow me on Instagram, then you see all the shenanigans. He's nuts. Yeah, you big homie. But you so handsome. Why you so handsome? Alright, so then a little tip that Murillo taught me. You guys, like I said, I do not enjoy cooking. I don't like it, and I don't think I'm the best cook. Murillo says that my cooking is fine, but I think my cooking is fine because honestly, he taught me how to cook. So something that he taught me with shrimp is because shrimp cooks really fast. So once I flip it over, I'll let it kind of simmer in the pan for maybe about a minute or so, and then I'll just turn the stove off, just simply because it's really easy to overcook shrimp. Now, if you're someone who's just, you know, what am I trying to say? Words are hard. Prep brain. If you're someone who's just amazing in the kitchen, then you're probably looking at me like, girl, bye, I got this, but it's just how I do, okay? Judge me kindly. So I'm just mixing up my next round of shrimp here. I don't know if you guys know this, but nutrition is something that is very, important to me, and it's also something else that I enjoy. Back in 2017 was when I started, I guess, my nutrition journey. This was before I even got into bodybuilding, and it was 2018. It was spring of 2018 because I was having a lot of gut issues and I was just on a mission to heal my gut. I thought I had a touch of celiac, but what it ended up being was that I have a little bit of a lactose sensitivity. And so when it comes to gluten or lactose, whatever the case may be, you need those same enzymes in order to digest them. And so I was eating gluten on top of dairy, and it was just like a no-go for me. And so again, trial and error, elimination diet. I wouldn't go as far and say that I am 100% lactose intolerant because I can't eat certain things. Like I can do Greek yogurt, I can do 2% mozzarella cheese, I can do Swiss cheese. But if I try to do ice cream, or any sort of pasta dish that's just slammed with a bunch of different cheese, cannot do it. So when I started getting into bodybuilding, summer 2019, I was just very fascinated with nutrition, and I noticed immediately that I was undernourished big time. And so then I was really just focusing on fueling my body properly. And once I figured that out, I just went to tell everybody, like every client that sat in my chair when I was working in salon, you know, because everyone's always asking me for beauty advice, right? So what about my hair, my makeup, my skin? And so what I always would say to them is, let's work from the inside out. And so the reason why I would always say let's work from the inside out is because, yes, I love all the hair products and the styling. I love the skincare and the makeup, but a lot of the times the issues that we are having is due to something internal. For instance, a common question that I would always get is, my under eyes are puffy. And my first question is, what's your sodium intake like? Because if you are intaking a lot of sodium, it can make your under eyes very puffy. So I ventured off and I got my holistic nutrition certification from UNC Charlotte. And then the following year, I got my nutrition coaching certification from NASM. So it's something that I am passionate about because I understand my purpose on this earth is to help and serve women. And I, for a long time, kept myself in the beauty box because I felt like, oh, everyone only knows me as the beauty girl. I can't do other things. But the truth is, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. I would always say that in the salon. And I've been a huge believer that your health, your wellness, and your beauty, like all of those things work together. They go hand in hand. I also got something else special coming, but I'll tell you about that at the end. All right, tip number 4. What are your carb sources? Like I said earlier, carbs are not bad. Carbs are your brain power, your fuel support. The car can't go without gas, right? That's how we look at carbs. Carbs are the gas. So, of course, everyone's going to be different. What you got to understand is, and I think this is why I get so irritated when people try to demonize carbs, a bowl of pasta is going to make you look totally different than jasmine rice. For the love of God, jasmine rice is not bad for you. All right? I've been eating jasmine rice my entire prep, and I think we're okay, right? I think it might be safe to say we're okay. I got a pro card eating jasmine rice. Like I said, I've been eating it my entire time throughout my competition career. So therefore, please, please, please miss me with the rice is bad for you. No, a Pop-Tart is gonna have a different effect on you. Pizza is going to have a different effect on you. A bowl of pasta is going to have a different effect on you. However, if you're eating oats, if you're eating jasmine rice, if you're eating potatoes, red potatoes, sweet potatoes, those are going to fuel your body and give you a totally different look than a bowl of pasta. So when traveling, you're bringing your protein with you, you've prepped it, it's good to go. For the carbs, this is what I do. If I'm flying, I buy my carbs there. The reason being is just simply because who wants to pay for an extra bag to check at the airport? Not I, said the cat. Right now, my carb sources, and this is what my carb sources have been, oats, jasmine rice, and rice cakes. Now, the cool thing about those, they are very, very lightweight. So when I do have to fly in a couple of weeks, it won't be a big deal. My oats, what I do is I just put them in a Ziploc bag. So I've got my oats here. I've got minute rice, jasmine rice, and then I've got 2 sleeves of rice cakes. Easy, not heavy. Now, if you're having something that's a little bit heavier, or maybe you're just got a bunch of stuff that you have to fly with, then yeah, do yourself a favor, get the carbs there. And I will sometimes, I'll get my vegetables when I get there, just simply because vegetables don't travel that great most of the time. Like fruit and veg don't really travel that great, especially when flying. That's just been my personal experience. But like I said, you do you. All right, chicken is complete, and now I'm just going to shred this down. It is super, super easy to do in the Instant Pot. It's literally going to fall apart. All right, so I poured some of the broth out because that won't travel well, but I'm doing this one-handed, and as you can see, it's just going to fall apart. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure the camera lens doesn't get too steamy. Doing that, look at this beautiful piece of picanha. So basically, picanha is steak in Portuguese. It's a specific cut of the steak. I can't remember which one, but it's the best. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful. And then that's grilled chicken. Murillo prepped this for somebody, and we're gonna send it off to them. Okay, so protein sources are prepped and ready to roll. We've got chicken, shrimp, salmon. With my salmon, I like to top it off with some of the everything bagel seasoning. Got that from Costco. And then this right here, it's like a balsamic vinaigrette, Nona's. You can get this from Costco as well. Focus, focus, focus. Balsamic glaze, there we go. That's what's on top of that. So I'm gonna let this cool, and then once it's cool, each one of these are going to go into their individual Ziploc bags and into the freezer, and that's how I always travel with my protein. Now, I'm driving, so I went ahead and prepared my meals that I'm going to need for the road. So this is my breakfast here, my salmon, it's already weighed out, my oats with my blackberry already weighed out. So that's my first meal, and then this is my second meal, which is just some chicken, jasmine rice, and green beans, and that should be good to go because I'm going to be leaving my house at 7:15, and I won't quite be ready to eat yet. I'm actually driving to Alexis's house, so she lives 2 hours away from me, which is perfect. So when I get to her house, I'll eat my first meal, so that'll probably be like at 10 o'clock, which is perfect, and then I'll be good to go for about a good, probably 3 to 4 hours. It just depends. Sometimes I push it out just depending on how I feel, but I'll be good to go. And then I'll have my meal 2. And then by the time it's time to eat again, we should be in Pittsburgh. And if not, then I can, have my rice cakes, whatever the case may be. So just wanted to show y'all how all of that is set up. And then in my bag here, typically if I'm flying, what I'll do, so this bag is really cool. I got it off the Amazon. If I can remember, I'll link it. So it's got this side here, and then this side over here is insulated. Now if I was flying, I probably wouldn't have half of this stuff in here because I'd want to make sure that I could get my insulated stuff on this side. But since I'm not, I've just got like almond milk, energy drinks, and my coffee on that side, my cold brew, because I've been obsessed with cold brew coffee. But I've got my rice cakes, I've got some Sour Patch Kids in there. I think that's from show over the weekend. Almonds, jasmine rice, all my carb sources are in here, along with my little food scale and utensils. And last but not least, tip number 5, super simple, bring a little extra. Because there have been times when I have not had enough protein because I didn't weigh it out properly, or I didn't weigh it at all, wherever the case may be, and then I get to like the last day and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm out of chicken, or I'm out of X, Y, and Z, which again, we're not gonna freak out. We're gonna figure it out. We'll either go find a grocery store, go find some pre-made chicken, and call it a day. Do not stress yourself out. This is the biggest thing. People make this so much more difficult than what it needs to be. God forbid anything happens, there's always going to be a grocery store around. You can either Uber to a grocery store, you can do an instant cart. If you're staying at a hotel and they have a restaurant, you just walk your little self down there and you say, hey, listen, I need chicken breast. Don't put no oil, no butter, no nothing on it. They can do it, but I don't want you to feel like because you're in contest prep or because you're on a weight loss journey and you're scared to death that you're going to get off track, that you can't travel. No, absolutely not. You still need to live your life. You still need to live your best life. You can do these things and still hit your goals. You just have to do the work prior to, because when you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. All right, y'all, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. And like I promised you, down below there's gonna be a link down there. It's going to say, I want to know more. With this very special link, click it, sign up, put your name and your email in. It's me. I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't gonna spam you. All right, but what this is, I am launching something that's going to be very, very cool. Probably, I'll say, a few weeks, month and a half or so. If you like this type of content specifically, where we're diving deeper into nutrition, you are going to love what's coming. And when you put your email in there, you will be the first to know. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Keep it simple. I'll see you in the next video.